Here with Dave Fielder, head of the Thunder. Dave, we're really looking forward to get going. I'm guessing that's an opinion that you share as well. I'm actually looking forward to it.
Oh yeah, definitely. I can't wait for this first race. I think it's going to be really tight at the front. There's some awesome cars out there. The track's absolutely beautiful at the minute. So hopefully it's going to be a good race and we'll see where we get, hopefully.
And just as we've started speaking, the sun's just started to peek through the clouds as well, which should make for a lovely day. I know you've been out here all weekend here at Donington. How's it gone for you?
Yeah, we've been going well. We did well in testing on the Friday. We got into the race. We were actually currently running P2, but unfortunately the sequential gear shifter come apart and I was stuck in third gear. So I had to retire the car, which was misfortunate because it was going to be a good result. But hopefully we can bring it back today.
Yeah, I was going to say, all good for today, no problems?
Yeah, we've been out there, qualifying ran good as a girl. The old girl kept herself well, so hopefully in the race we can pick some positions up and see where we get.
And you mentioned there's some lovely cars out there, there certainly is. Talk us through yours, what we're working with.
Yeah, so I've got this obviously Bmw M346. She's running a lot of the Flossman's BMW parts with the aero kit. Like I said, she's on a sequential. She's got a very reasonably big engine in her, so...
Nice drive?
Yeah, oh yeah, she's very nice to drive, very nice to drive.
That's all we like to hear. Well, best of luck today, Dave. Hope it all goes well for you.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
All right, with Matty Evans, head of the Thunders. Matty, we've been here and it's been a pretty good weekend for you. How much are you looking forward to getting back out on track today and hoping to repeat the trick?
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, we can have a result, really. We had a good result Saturday, winning both the races. Struggled with tyre temps this morning. Wasn't quite aware of how short the qualifying session was, but the car felt okay. So if we can get some temps in the tyres, it'll work. We've only got 15 minutes this time, I think, in this race to get temperature.
Plenty of beautiful cars out there in the Boss and the Thunder. How much are you looking forward to being a part of it?
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously I've got a lot of friends out there now. So Rick Wood and his massive Commodore, and Gary Whittaker will be quick in his E30, I'm sure. So it'll be fun, I think.
And talk us through this beautiful machine that's behind you as well, because it's a beautiful thing to look at. What's it like to actually drive?
It's not too bad to drive, really. We've kind of struggled with it over the last 2 years, but we've got it to work now. So I've had some help from Kev Clark, a friend of mine. So it's pretty much an E92 V8 now that's running just over 500 horsepower, but it's pretty much an M2 and M4 underneath. So it's sequential gearbox, goes pretty well. So we've just got to keep it on the tarmac, really.
Wish you all the very best with that endeavour. Good luck.
Thank you. Thank you.
Cheers, mate. Spot on. All we need. Best luck today. Thank you, bud.
Lovely. Thank you very much. Hands full.
Cheers, mate. All the best, mate.
Okay, see you later.
Okay, good to hear from a couple of the drivers there ahead of our first race of the day. We've got one race to come before the lunch break. It is the Edmondson Electrical Classic and Historic Thunder Saloons, along with the Burton Power Blue Oval Saloons for everything Ford. A big entry of 41 cars to be seen out there for this one. This will be a 15-minute race with a rolling start. We weren't able to bring you the qualifying session earlier on, but we have got the grid for you. In pole position is James Card, number 32, with his BMW, doubling up with the Kumho BMW Championship this weekend. And alongside him, the Holden Monaro of number 97, Andrew Wilson. The second row, number 76 of Jason West. And alongside him, number 5, Jason Hughes, with his ex-British touring car, Vauxhall Vectra. The third row of the grid, number 40, that's Lucky Carer. In his, he'll be in a BMW of some sort. He's a late entry as always, so with these events. So it's BMW E46 he's in. Alongside him is the double winner from Silverstone, Rick Wood, in his Aussie Holden Commodore, the ex-Garth Tander machine. Fourth row, David Fielder, number 147, with his BMW, and the number 162, the wild BMW 1M of Matty Evans. We've seen that out in Brickcar this season, his BMW 1 Series M Coupe. The fifth row is Andy Robinson, number 18, with his Aussie Ford Falcon. He's got two of those, so I think he might be in the Shell Helix liveried one this weekend, alongside Simon Light with his Ford Capri, number 17. The sixth row is Gary Whittaker with his BMW E30 M3, the ex-Kumho BMW champion, alongside number 26 Brian Branson with his BMW. The seventh row, James Janicki with his Nissan Skyline, starts alongside number 69 Paul Hand with his Audi TT. On the 8th row, 101 Malcolm Harding in his Ford Escort Mark II, the Zac Speed replica. He had a win here yesterday with that car, so he should go well. Alongside Steve Putz, number 77, with his Mazda RX-7. On the 9th row, 66, which is Paul Wood with his BMW, alongside 121 Colin Voice in a Mark I Escort. And they are followed on the grid by row 10. Gavin Dunn in another BMW number 30 alongside David Griffin, number 34. He was in the last qualifying session, so he's had to make a dash back to the assembly area. The 11th row is number 50, which is Paul Eaton. It was listed originally as his daughter Abby Eaton, one of Britain's leading female racing drivers racing that car, but it looks like it is Paul in the car now. The Holden Commodore, the ex-Peter Brock car, alongside Ryan Steele with his small but rapid Citroen Saxo. The 12th row, 56 Piers Grange in his Mark II Escort, the former Blue Oval champion, but he's running in Classic Thunder this weekend. Starting alongside Ian Craig at number 96. Incidentally, quickest of the Blue Oval Saloon cars is Malcolm Harding, further up the grid. Next on the grid we have Edward Lee in his BMW, listed as number 1. That's a number change. He was listed as 170, alongside 521 Clive Haynesford in his very modified Mazda RX-8, the ex-Special Saloon racer. 14th row, 71 Kevin Denwood with his BMW Compact, and 341 of Tom Bell. In fact, there's a change there. It's Joel Wren in that car, not Tom Bell. They've swapped over. Tom Bell, I'm told, is doing race 2. Joel Wren is in race 1. They're in a Ford Fiesta. The 15th row, 57 Tony Paxman with his Mark I Escort, and number 20, which is the Aston Martin, shared by Sam Wilson and Ricky Cann. I believe it's Sam Wilson doing race 1 in the Aston Martin V8 Vantage. The 16th row, Gareth Montgomery, the New Zealand-born racer, with his BMW number 164. He's running in Class C. Late entry on the programme, alongside James Dunkley with his lovely Ford Fiesta XR2 number 22. The 17th row, Matthew Johnson with his BMW alongside Martin Reynolds, number 27. Now, which of his classic Fords is he in? He's in his New Anglia. Martin Reynolds, number 27. The 18th row, number 86, Colin Claxton. He's in a Mark I Escort. And number 16, we have a number clash, unfortunately. Tom Smith is in number 16, not Gary Whittaker. He's in a Fiesta ST further down the grid there. Row 19, this is a big grid. Will Hunt in his Ford Fiesta, number 70, and number 6, Anton Martin, also in a Fiesta, one of his 2 Fords he's got here this weekend. Then we have the Ford Sierra Cosworth of Malcolm Wise, number 14, the Londoner, and 58, which is one of the Gadd family. Father and son sharing a Mark I Escort here. I believe it's David Gadd in the car for race 1. Jack will take it over for race 2. And finally, we have number 84, which is David Claxton, and he's in a Triumph Dolomite Sprint, a turbocharged Triumph. So we should have 41 cars for this race if they haven't had any problems in qualifying. As you can see in the background there, some oil being swept up by the marshalling team at the moment on the exhibition straight. I think that's from Steve Barber's Honda Civic. Not the birthday present Steve wanted, a blown engine. Unfortunately, looks like he'll be out for the weekend, sadly. So in pole position for the second meeting of the Edmondson Electrical Classic and Historic Thunder Saloon season is James Card on his local circuit here at Donington. Now we're being told it is Abby Eaton in the number 50 car. Those of us on YouTube, thanks Mark Waller. Yes, so it is Abby Eaton, not her father Paul. That's an error on the grid sheet. It's Abby in the number 50 Holden Commodore. Great to have Abby here, one of Britain's leading female racing drivers. Of course, she's competed with the likes of W Series, racing her dad's Holden Commodore, the ex-Peter Brock car here today in the classic Thunder Saloons in historic Class 1. Classes A, B and C for the more modern cars, and the historic classes H1, 2 and 3. We haven't got any H2 entries this weekend. In Blue Oval Saloons there are 4 classes. Classes B, C, D and F have got entries this weekend. Quickest Blue Oval Saloon is Malcolm Harding's Zappspeed Escort up in 15th overall. Now we see a bit of a clear-up operation by our marshalling team. The powder being put down on the oil slick there on the exhibition straights. That's the reason for the slight delay here. In pole position it's James Card with the silver BMW E46 M3. He's been with the Kumho BMW Championship for several years. Used to race alongside his late father Roger in that championship. James, a former class champion there. He's got 2 pole positions here today. Kumho BMWs as well. Now, how good is that a sight to see? Spectators back at circuits in the UK. And lots of spectators here on this Bank Holiday Monday as well, enjoying the sunshine. The sun has now burnt through the clouds at last. That is a wonderful sight to see, the spectator bank packed here at Donington. Alongside James Card will be the man from Doncaster, Andy Wilson, in his awesome Valvoline Holden Monaro, big Aussie muscle car, one of a few Aussie machines out there. The second row, Jason West, number 76, with his BMW. He's the second of the Class B cars behind James Card. And alongside Jason West will be Jason Hughes, ex-British touring car racer in an ex-British touring car, a 888 Engineering built Vauxhall Vectra. Cars are now leaving the assembly area to come to the line. They will stop on the grid and then the pace car will lead them away for a rolling start. Third row of the grid is Lucky Kera, possibly Britain's most prolific racing driver. He races something different every weekend. He's the reigning Ferrari Challenge UK champion. He's also in British GT this year with a Lamborghini Huracan run by Simon Green Motorsport, I should say, sharing with Ross Wiley. Alongside Lucky should be Rick Wood. Yes, he's there in the Toll Holden Commodore, the ex-Garth Tander car, one of Rick Wood's massive collection of classic touring cars of various kinds. Further back I can see Andy Robinson. Now, we asked which of the Ford Falcons he owns he's brought out for this one. He is in the Shell Helix car. It's the red and yellow car you can just see on the left there. He's ninth on the grid, the reigning Classic Thunder champion. He's got the silver and black Falcon, the Craig Lowndes liveried car, but he's in his other one today. Fourth row, David Fielder, we heard from him earlier with his BMW M3, starting alongside Matty Evans in his crazy, very heavily modified V8 engined 1M Coupe. It's got the biggest wing on the grid, certainly. You can see it there, just to the right of Andy Robinson's car. He's got it's him and David Fielder, the battle of the spoilers in this race on their BMWs. Matty Evans' car sounds like a Class 1 DTM car from the 1990s, and it shoots about 3 foot of flame out the back of it on overrun. What's not to like? Completing the top 10 on the grid, Simon Lights with another very modified machine, the Ford Capri. Plenty of Fords further down the order, good numbers in the Blue Oval Saloons. So we're almost ready to get underway. Over 500 of you watching on YouTube. That's great to see. The BMW pace car in position, ready to lead them off. This will be a 15-minute race. The Edmondson Electrical Classic Thunder Saloons and the Burton Power Blue Oval Saloons for everything Ford. I reckon Rick Wood is going to be one to watch here, going from 6th on the grid in his Holden Commodore. We're still waiting the all clear from the marshals and the clerk of the course to get them rolling. Okay, here we go then. We are off and rolling. Oh, problem for Jason Hughes. He's got his arm out of the window. The Vectra hasn't moved. Now the pack can't get round him. Look, we've got a problem here. This will be a delayed start. Rick Wood trying to get that massive Holden Commodore around the Vectra, and he'll have to catch up again. Yeah, they've got round him now. There's a bit more room there. So it's James Card, Andy Wilson. There's Jason West in the underscore BMW, as opposed to hashtag BMW, I suppose. Lucky Kera is in Jasvir Sapra's car. The number 40 we can see now. Malcolm Harding, the Castrol Escort we saw go through there. in the sunshine here at Donington, getting ready to be thunderstruck. With these classic Thunder Saloons, some huge rumbling V8 engines in there, including that fearsome Holden Monaro on the front row, the Valvoline Cummins liveried car of Andy Wilson. Lucky Kira in Jasvir Sapra's grey BMW. There's a gap on the second row where Jason Hughes would have been. He's going to have to start from the back if he gets going. That's a shame for Jason, because he is the current championship leader after Silverstone. 2 class wins in Class C. He's a point ahead of Rick Wood, because Rick was beaten to fastest lap by Andy Wilson in the second race. There's Gary Whittaker's gorgeous E30 M3. The Mazda RX-7 with all the aero on it there looks like a time attack car. That's Steve Putt. Paul and Abby Eaton's Commodore. We think it's Abby in the car. Stunning cars in this field. Missing a couple at the back. I believe Edward Lee is a non-starter, number 1. Now Jason Hughes' car is currently being pushed off the grid by the marshals, I can tell you. There it is. Great shame, the ex-Super Touring car. Now, if he's not out of the way in time, the start will have to be delayed. There's Rick Wood. There's Matty Evans with the yellow wheels there. That's BMW 1M. Silver BMW of James Card. Andy Wilson in the Monaro on the front row. Lucky Kira in the grey BMW. He'll be one to watch. A very quick driver indeed. Andy Robinson, a.k.a. Dick Johnson, in the Falcon. James Janicki in the blue Skyline. What a fantastic field of cars we have here. Clive Haynesford in the rotary-engined Mazda RX-8. All the Fords towards the back in the Blue Oval Saloon Series. Malcolm Wise in the Cosworth at the back. So the track is clear, I can tell you, on the Wheatcroft Straights. So we're ready for a start. First race of the day here at Donington Park. Form up 2 by 2. There's a gap on the second row. We are ready to rumble, quite literally, in the sunshine here at Donington Park. Edmondson Electrical Classic Thunder Saloons and Burton Power Blue Oval Saloon Series. The pace car, I think, is staying out this time. Yes, the grid wasn't quite clear in time, so they will do another green flag lap. The pace car's still out, so we'll have another formation lap there. Clerk of the course not happy that Vectra was clear in time there of Jason Hughes, so we have another rolling lap. Nice chance for them to get some heat into their tyres, get them up to operating temperature. There's Simon Light, the Capri, next to Andy Robinson. Gary Whittaker's M3. Alongside him, Brian Branson in the orange car. Malcolm Harding, the first of the Blue Oval Saloons. The Blue Oval Saloon Series, Boss as it's known. Someone commenting that some of these cars have got bigger wings than the planes going into East Midlands Airport over the circuit. You can see why some of these leading runners. There's Janicki in the Skyline. Fast but fragile, that car. Paul Hand in the Audi TT. Steve Putt in that extraordinary RX-7 in the midfield there. Looks more like a time attack car than a race car. James Dunkley, the red XR2. Beautifully turned out car, that one. We're missing a couple of Fords from the back of the field as well. See the heat haze coming up off the track here. It is David Gadd in the Escort, sharing with his son Jack. It's the white Escort at the back of the field, the space frame on. So will we get a green this time? Will we get underway? Looks like we are going to. The lights are out on top of the pace car. That's usually the sign. Okay, here we go then. They're now form up 2 by 2, ready for a start. It's time to go racing here at Donington Park on this Bank Holiday Monday in the sunshine. Classic Thunder and Blue Oval Saloons about to get underway. Watch for the red lights going out. Revs begin to rise, and here we go. Great start by Matty Evans down the outside. Oh, James Card's got a problem. The pole sitter has slowed. We've lost Card already, so it's Andy Wilson in the Monaro. It leaves Matty Evans a superb start up into second place in the 1M, and Rick Wood in third position in the Holden Commodore. Andy Robinson coming through as well. It's going to be Ford v Holden at the front of the field if he gets through here. It's going to be Holden's 1 and 2 because Rick Wood side by side with Matty Evans. No, Evans defends down the Craner curves in the BMW 1M. Robinson is up to 4th. Simon Light in the Capri is 5th. And Malcolm Harding's had a great getaway. He's up into 6th. They're all down the Craner curves okay. Waiting them to come up towards McLean. It's Andy Wilson, the Yorkshireman in the Holden Monaro, leads the way. Matty Evans from the West Midlands in second. Rick Wood from Cheshire in his Commodore in third. The ex-Garth Tander Toll Holden car into Coppice corner. Leaders start to string out a little. James Card sadly didn't get going. Slowed up on the rolling start. Kicking up a bit of dust there off the oil slick. Matty Evans went a bit wide there, and Rick Wood doesn't need asking twice. Powers the big V8 Holden through on the inside into second, so it's Aussie Beasts 1 and 2, the BMW in third as they complete lap number 1. Bit of a twitch there from Andy Wilson. There's a yellow flag out at the run down to Redgate because of James Card's stranded BMW. Robinson in 4th with the yellow headlights on the Ford Falcon. He wants to move up and take on the other Aussie Beasts at the front of the field. Simon Light 5th, Malcolm Harding, the first Blue Oval car, is in 6th place. I think he must have a transponder issue because it didn't show at the end of the opening lap. It's come through now. 9 places gained on that first lap. 7th is Brian Branson, then Jason West, Lucky Kera, and rounding out the top 10 is David Fielder with the black M3 with the yellow rear wing. Piers Grange in the Escort there. Now he's a former multiple Blue Oval Saloon champion. Is he running in Blue Oval? Yes, he is. He was listed as Classic Thunder, but he is back in Blue Oval with the Escort this weekend. He's second of the Blue Oval cars. There's the leader Malcolm Harding in their division, and Rick Wood getting ready to possibly attack Andy Wilson for the lead in this 15-minute thrash. Through they come. The Roberts chicane, the right and the left. There's Harding in 6th place ahead of the BMWs of Branson, West, Kera and Fielder. Then we've got Steve Putt in the Mazda RX-7. Andy Wilson with the fastest lap of the race, 1:14.364, leads by just under half a second from Rick Wood in the Toll Holden Commodore. Into the Craner curves. Matty Evans dropping back a little into 3rd place now with his BMW. Had a win here on Saturday in another series. Actually came home in front of 2 races over the weekend, but was given a penalty for a short pit stop in one of the mandatory pit stop races over the weekend. Up towards McLean's corner. Robinson 4th in the Shell Helix Ford Falcon, then Simon Lights, Harding in 6th, leading the Blue Oval split. 2nd of them is Piers Grange in his Escort, quite a long way back in 20th overall. 3rd of the Blue Ovals, Tony Paxman in his Mark 1 Escort. Rick Ward is getting closer and closer to the back of the newer Holden of Andy Wilson, and Matty Evans in the Liqui Moly BMW. Bit of a lock up there into the chicanes, closing up as well. 3 laps down this time around. Listen to the rumble of those V8s in the background. Commentary almost superfluous for this one. Swing their way through Redgate corner into lap 4. Simon Light going well in the Capri up there in 5th place, leading the historic Thunder class H1. Then the next group headed by Malcolm Harding, who's got Brian Branson hard on his tail, the orange BMW, but he's under fire from Lucky Kera in the number 14. No, it's Jason West, sorry, and he dives down the inside there, West into the old hairpin. He's got through. Lucky Kera's dropped back a couple of spots. He's had a moment somewhere. Where is the grey BMW? Yeah, he's in that group behind Steve Putt in the Mazda RX-7 there, and also coming through David Fielder. I think Lucky Kera's got a problem and is starting to drop down the order here in Jasvir Sapra's BMW. Brian Branson under fire from that. There's the RX-7. Look at the aero on that number 77 car of Steve Putt. Expect to see it in time attack or drifting, that car. Certainly not drifting. Matty Evans has a look up the inside of Rick Wood there into Redgate, and he goes through. Good move by Matty Evans. The BMW now getting warmed up. It's 97 of Andy Wilson who leads down the Craner curves. Through the old hairpin. Rick Wood's got back ahead there down the Craner curves as well. Robinson fourth, Light fifth. The next group headed by Malcolm Harding. He's under fire though. Jason West done again. Oh, and nearly a collision there. David Fielder almost into the back of Brian Bransom. There's a real fight going on in the lower reaches of the top 10 here. They're coming up towards McLean's now. Here they come. Jason West and Malcolm Harding are side by side. Behind that it's Steve Putt, Brian Branson, then Lucky Kera, David Fielder, Gary Whittaker's E30 BMW, then James Janicki is next in the order, and behind him is one of the Castrol Escorts. That's Colin Voice, number 121. This is the fight for 6th place. Malcolm Harding trying to hang on in front, but Jason West is flying up the order in that BMW. The black and orange number 76, but look at Steve Putt as well. Tries to dive for the inside. Harding holds the inside line. He had a similar battle with Joe Ward in the Vauxhall Firenze, known as Baby Bertha, yesterday. Here comes Putt. He'll get his foot down on the outside in that Mazda RX-7, number 77. Brian Bransom's BMW is in there as well, the orange car. And somehow Malcolm Harding is holding them all off. Still the Aussie beasts that lead the way up front. Andy Wilson in the 97. This is the main focus at the moment. Flash of flame from the RX-7 there as he attacks. Is Jason West going to try his lunge down the inside into the old hairpin this time? No, he's forced to go to the outside. But he just pulls ahead anyway. How much power that BMW has got. David Field has got ahead of Lucky Kera. Colin Voice being caught by Paul Hand. And behind him, Paul Wood in his BMW as well. Meantime, the battle is still raging for 2nd place behind Andy Wilson between Evans and Wood. Rick Wood, that is, in the Holden Commodore. Leaders are coming down to the chicane. They've got a back marker. That's David Gadd in his Mark 1 Escort, the Gartrack prepared machine. Oh, Matty Evans over the curve there on the inside. That lost him some momentum trying to get past David Gadd. I think he's slowing a bit there in the BMW. They lap Will Hunt in his Ford Fiesta as well. And Rick Wood is getting into a position to attack his fellow Honda pilot for the lead. 7.5 minutes to go, so we're at half distance in this Edmondson Electrical Classic Thunder and Blue Oval Saloon race. The Blue Oval Saloon's being led at a canter by Malcolm Harding. He's up with the Thunder cars. About 2 or 3 car lengths here. The gap was 0.4 of a second last time over the line for Andy Wilson. And Matty Evans closing up as well. Can he challenge for the lead here? James Dunkley going through there in his Ford Fiesta XR2. Here come the leaders. I think that's David Griffin down towards the back of the field in his BMW, quite possibly there. It's unusual to see him so far down. We have lost Piers Grange, incidentally. His Escort's pulled into the pits. The Blue Oval Saloon multi-champion. No, it's not David Griffin there. It's another BMW being lapped. That's of Matthew Johnson, similarly coloured car with the FINA sponsorship. Leaders slice their way through. That's one of the Mark 1 Escorts as well. I think that's the Claxton car, Colin Claxton, number 84. 86, I should say. 6.5 minutes to go, and Andy Wilson is now having to defend from Rick Wood in the Commodore, having a look on the outside. Still the Valvoline liveried Monaro, still holds the lead. Matty Evans is now swarming up onto the back of them and is saying, well, if you're going to hold each other up, I'm going to eat into your lead and try and get my BMW in front of your Australian V8s. 3 for the lead. Further back in 4th place is still Andy Robinson in the Ford Falcon. He's busy with back markers at the moment. Blue flag waving to the slower cars, tell them the leaders are coming through. James Dunkley there, the XMG racer in his Fiesta, is lapped. Look at this battle for 6th. Oh, and Malcolm Wise gets swallowed up there, and Lucky Kera's got round the outside of everybody there at the Craners. Goodness me. Malcolm Wise in the Sierra Cosworth has been tagged there. You can see damage to the front of his car. There's a bit of damage on Lucky Kera's BMW as well. And escaping in front of all this, Steve Putt into 6th in the RX-7. Brian Bransom is 7th. This fight is for 8th. Lucky Kera, David Field, and Malcolm Harding's gone down to 9th, but he still leads the Blue Oval Championship. And then David Fielder's BMW is in there as well. Jason West, who moved up the order with a few daring lunges into the old hairpin. He's gone backwards again now in the number 76. There he is, the black and orange car. What's going to happen this time into the chicane? David Fielder making a move on Lucky Kera, Lakvinder Kera to give his full name, the West Midlands-based racer. Got a whole collection of BMWs and supercars that he races. Here's the battle for the lead into the old hairpin. There's Clive Haynesford, that's a crazy Mazda RX-8, not a special saloon that one is. Up they come into the McLeans, they're the leaders. Matty Evans still on the tail of Rick Wood. There is Clive Haynesford, the Mazda RX-8, rotary engined car. Had some successes in the Nippon Challenge in the last few years for Japanese cars. Long-time racer Clive Haynesford, the ex-special saloon man. He's got number 71 behind him, which is Kevin Denwood's BMW. And Tony Paxman in the Escort Mark 1. Leaders are just behind them. There are the leaders, Andy Wilson, the number 97. They're coming up on Tony Paxman there, the blue Escorts. Rick Wood still second, the gap is 0.49 of a second. Rick Wood has got the fastest lap of the race, 1:12.276. Matty Evans is lurking behind them. Their last lap's virtually identical, the three of them. Andy Robinson still fourth in the Falcon. Then we've got Simon Light, and it's been all changed for 6 over the last couple of laps. Steve Putt coming through in the Mazda RX-7. He's ahead of Brian Branson, who's being threatened. Here they are by David Fielder into Redgate corner. Just over 3 minutes to go of this thrash. There is the Nissan Skyline. James Janicki has come through into 9th place. Now, what's happened to Lucky Kera? He seems to have lost the number 40 car. Where's he gone? Yeah, he's pulled into the pits. So Lucky Kera, he had some damage to the front end, so Lucky has pulled in. Not a lucky race for him. Leaders into the chicane. They'll get possibly 3 more laps out of this. Can Rick Wood make a move? Can he make it 3 outright wins out of 3 in Classic Thunder in 2021? Andy Wilson covers the inside into Redgate corner. Big Holden Monaro, but the cutback there for Rick Wood. He's having a look there, coming out of Redgate. Steve Putt still in 6th in the Mazda RX-8. We've got a car going off on the outside of, I think that's Coppice. Paul Hand has gone into the gravel. There he is in the Audi TT. So Paul Hand able to rejoin. He went over the gravel there in the Audi, losing out to Abby Eaton in the Holden Commodore. Battle for the lead heads up towards McLean's. 2 minutes on the clock. They may only get 1 more lap out of this, in fact. They're well clear of their opposition. Evans ahead of Robinson by some 14 seconds. There is the Rick Wood is determined to get up alongside Andy Wilson here. Can he do it down the exhibition straight? Can he get into the slipstream here? They're coming down towards the chicane. Rick Wood gets the inside. No, he doesn't. Andy Wilson moves to cover. And Matty Evans is closing up as well. Rick Wood has got to attack and defend at the same time here. 1 minute 28 on the clock as they cross the line. So they will get 2 more laps out of this. Just, I think, Rick Wood pulls to the outside. They're side by side, the 2 Holdens down into Redgate. Andy Wilson holds in on the inside. He's just about holding onto his lead, you could say, but look at Matty Evans. He's going to take the risk round the outside. There could be 3 wide down the Craner curves here. Here comes Evans. Which side's he going to go? Goes to the outside. He's going to go through at the Craner curves. Great move, Matty Evans. Cuts in front into 2nd place. He split the Holdens. Lapping Tom Smith there in the Fiesta. Wait for them to come through towards Schwantz curve. Is it still going to be Andy Wilson in the 97? Yes, it is, but only just. Matty Evans looking determined here. Goes up onto the outside. And now he's having a real go at Andy Wilson up towards Coppice. Tries the inside. Wilson moves to cover. That V8 engined BMW 1M. Had some successes in brick car this season. They're coming up to lap Malcolm Wise in his slightly battered Sierra Cosworth. Rick Wood was delayed briefly behind him there. Evans has a look. There isn't room at the chicane this time through, and he's got to be careful that Rick Wood doesn't get back up the inside there in the 111. They come out to start their final lap this time. The last lap board is out. This is going to be a grandstand finish between these 3. They're well clear of Andy Robinson. There are battles down the other, and Evans up the inside. He really throws it up the inside of the Redgate. He's going to lose it on the exit. He tried too hard there, Matty Evans. He spun round. That was never on there. He came from way too far back, completely missed his braking point. That was desperation there from Matty Evans, and his chance of victory is gone. He is rejoining. He's got the BMW going again. A very annoyed Matty Evans, burning out his tyres almost there as he rejoined. He's just ahead of Andy Robinson, so he's still third. Such was his margin of lead. The Blue Oval split, I can tell you, is still being led by Malcolm Harding. He was in 11th place overall. We've been concentrating on the lead battle. The two Holdens, it looks like it is going to be Andy Wilson this time in the big number 97 Commodore, Holden Monaro, I should say. The Commodore in second place in the hands of Rick Wood. Clock has counted down to 0, so it will be checkered flag this time. And our first winner of the day here at Donington in the Edmondson Electrical Classic and Historic Thunder Saloons is going to be Andy Wilson. They lap Ian Craig's BMW into the final corner. Rick Wood is not going to get there. And there is the checkered flag. Andy Wilson takes the win, punches the air as he crosses the line. Rick Wood comes over in second. It's a Holden 1-2. 13 laps completed. Fastest lap of the race went to Rick Wood, 1:12.276, and then a gap back to third, which is going to be a doubtlessly rather frustrated Matty Evans. He does take third place despite that spin. Robinson takes fourth in the Ford Falcon. And fifth, Simon Light. Good result for the Ford Capri, the dark blue car there. Sixth is Steve Putt in the RX-7. Brian Bransom's BMW, the orange BMW, is seventh. It's going to be Jason West 8th, Jim Janicki 9th, and Gary Whittaker 10th. They were battling right to the flag. And the Blue Oval Saloons are won by Malcolm Harding in the Castrol Zaxpeed Escorts. That's his second win in as many days at Donington, as we said, had a win here in another series yesterday. 12th is Jason Hughes in the Vectra. Now, he did get going. We missed Jason Hughes there. He got out of the pit. He had to start from the pit lane. He came through from the back to finish 12th. Well done to Jason Hughes. That'll give him a decent grid position for race 2. There's the Vectra at the top of the Craner curves. I hadn't noticed that he'd made it back out into that race, but he did come through for 12th. We'll confirm the results in a moment as the drivers head back towards Parc Fermé. Well, Andy Wilson, the man from Doncaster in Yorkshire, celebrates his victory with the big Holden Monaro. He's got a couple of special saloon type cars as well. I believe he now owns the DAF V8s, the little DAF 66 with a V8 engine in it, the ex Tony Hazelwood and Mike Wilde's car from the special saloon days. We'll bring you the results of that one as soon as they are confirmed. So the results as follows then. Andy Wilson, the winner by 0.38 of a second ahead of Rick Wood, with Matty Evans, despite that spin going into the last lap, taking third ahead of Andy Robinson. Simon Light winning Class H1 in 5th place. Steve Putt taking 6th in the RX-7. Brian Bransom wins Class B in 7th ahead of Jason West. James Janicki is 9th ahead of, in 10th position, the number 16 of Gary Whittaker, taking 10th. 11th was Malcolm Harding, number 101. He wins the Blue Oval Saloon Split, Blue Oval Class B. And behind him was Jason Hughes. Great effort by the Vectra. Colin Voice took his Escort to 3rd place. He won his class. Paul Wood's BMW and the Saxo of Ryan Steele rounding out the top 15. Behind them, 16th place went to the number 20 Aston Martin, Sam Wilson at the wheel of that. Then it was the Eaton family Holden Commodore. David Griffin, a quiet race for him behind them. The last man on the lead lap was Paul Hand in the Audi TT in 19th, despite going through the gravel at one point. Completing the top 10 was David Fielder. He actually pulled into the pits on the final lap with a problem, so he's classified 20th ahead of Ian Craig, Clive Haynesford, then Kevin Denwood, Tony Paxman, James Dunkley. The BMW of Montgomery was next, then Matthew Johnson in his BMW, Colin Claxton, Will Hunt and Malcolm Wise in the Sierra Cosworth rounding out the top 30. Behind them, David Gadd in his Escort, Tom Smith's Fiesta, and we lost lucky carer Joel Wren in his Fiesta. Piers Grange was a retirement. We lost Gavin Dunn and James Card, of course, the pole sitter at the start of the race. That was race 1 then here at Donington Park. We're now going to go into our lunch break fairly shortly. We resume racing at around 1:40 p.m. So just over an hour's time with our coverage here, which will be the Classic Touring Car Racing Club Jaguar Enthusiast Club Saloon and GT Championship, running with the pre-83 Shell Oils touring cars. Then it's the first race for the Kumho BMW Championship, and then the big field of pre-66 Classic and Historic touring cars after that. The pre-93 and 03 touring cars are next, and then the rest of the racing goes on through the afternoon. Crowd still enjoying the sunshine here at Donington Park. Now it's burned through the cloud. And certainly a great race to warm them up there in this first race of the day. Great drive by Andy Wilson, the Yorkshireman. Commiserations to Matty Evans as well. He tried to send it up the inside going into Redgate on the last lap in the BMW, just couldn't get the car stopped and the back came around on him. As we say, we're now going into our lunch break for the marshals and officials and for the spectators here at Donington Park too. Well, we can now hand down to Park Ferme, where race winner Andy Wilson is ready to chat to Steve Jameson.
3, 2, 1, Andy.
Andy Wilson, what an absolutely amazing race that was. What was that like to be a part of? It was amazing to watch that trio of you battling all race long.
It was hard work, really, really hard work. I didn't know where to look, left, right, or behind, I don't know. It was just hard work. Great race, clean race. I thought on the last lap, my tyres had started to go off a little bit, and I thought they were going to make a lunge somewhere, so I went a bit defensive for the last 2 laps, managed to hold on. Good old girl.
You had to be defensive a lot of that. You led out from the front and managed to hold it. There was a moment where Matty Evans just got around the back of you once, but just got a little bit too aggressive towards the end there. How relieved were you when you saw him just go a little bit too far?
To be fair, I left him the gap and thought he's coming from a long way back. I'm going to get the undercut on him, and that's what happened. He went in all crossed up sideways, looked round, and they get there with the gap, and that was that. Last lap, and our way.
How much have you enjoyed that race? Because that's what it's all about, right? That wheel-to-wheel racing.
We've got some of the fastest drivers in the country in this race, some of the fastest cars, and the old Minaro did me well.
It certainly did. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations to Andy Wilson there. Great drive from the Holden Monaro. Car that has featured, I believe, in British GT in the past as well, that car, before passing into Andy's hands. The Aussie Beast holding on ahead of Rick Wood to take the win. Okay, so we're now heading into our lunch break here at Donington Park. Plenty more racing to come through the afternoon. We'll resume with the Classic Touring Car Racing Club, the pre-83 touring cars, and the Jaguars coming up our first race after lunch. Before we go to lunch, I believe we've got hold of the winner of the Blue Oval Saloon Series as well, and that was Malcolm Harding, number 101, with his Zack Speed Escort. And we can hand down to Steve in the pits to talk to him.
It just dwindled halfway through that.
All right, welcome back down to Park Ferme. Malcolm, that was a superb race. Congratulations on the win in the Boss class. How did you enjoy it out there? It looked like a lot of fun.
Had a good start, had a great start. I'd done some of the bigger cars off the start, so it was great. Come from, I think it was about the 8th row of the grid, so it was mint really.
Yeah, it seemed to be a bit frenetic out there at times. It got a little bit tight and packed around those corners, but that's what it's all about, right?
Yeah. We had swapping places with a couple of big M3 BMWs and the old MOT failures. That's quite good, really.
And how much do you enjoy Donington? Because it's a track that seems to always give us a little bit of entertainment.
That's all right. Today I had a third from the back in the CSCC, and then I won the next race from the front of the grid, and obviously now sort of just won the Boss one and this one. But there's some quick stuff in the classic touring car stuff.
Yeah, there always is. Congratulations on the win.
Thanks very much. Big thanks to Tim Swadkin and the Race Engine and Malcolm Blackman. Thank you.
Thank you, Malcolm.
Thank you.